The Smith & Wesson FPC in 22. Let's check it out. Guys, today we're going to take a look at a new addition to the FPC line from Smith & Wesson. This is in 22. Started out in 9mm, they added a couple of calibers, but one of the big bonuses for the FPC is that it is a folding option. So we have a little lever, pop it down. Now we have a very compact package. And in 22, it's even lighter and very handy. One of the things about a survival situation is having 22 is known for a survival option, not necessarily for self-defense, even though it can be used for that. This gives you a firearm that you can hunt with, that you can use for different purposes, even a lightweight training option, and anyone can shoot it because there's hardly any recoil. But there's a lot of cool features about the FPC, and with the 22, it just gives you a ton of different options for backpack, bug out, putting it in a boat, your RV, whatever, just having a small 22 handy. Because guys, the one thing about 22 is that it's so versatile. And that's the big thing, especially in a survival situation, it just gives you a lot of options. Now I want to give Smith & Wesson a big thank you for sending the FPC in 22 for this review. They're going to let me keep this one, of course, because I'm part of the Sensible Prepper, and we'll be using this one quite a bit. All right guys, Smith & Wesson, the M&P FPC, which is the 22. This is a folding pistol carbine. That means it just uses pistol calibers. This is in 22. They have launched the 9mm and also the 10mm and 40 caliber. So there's a lot of different options. But this to me makes an excellent bug out survival type rifle. And we did a video about that on the Sensible Prepper channel. I have it annotated right above, going specifically into why this makes, to me, one of the ultimate survival rifles. Yes, it's 22 caliber, but it definitely has a place because 22 is so versatile. Now let's make sure the gun's unloaded. I'm going to drop the 20 round magazine. Now these are polymer. They have a little catch here to be able to load really easily, which I really like. And then we're going to check the chamber. Now the charging handles are back here at the back. A little bit different, but there we go, we're unloaded. And I really like this charging handle system. It's really more like an AR-15. And you can grab it either way, or you can grab it two ways. And so it gives you a little more leverage. Now to fold the rifle, there is a lever right here. There's some serrations, and you just push it forward, and then it opens. Now, if this thing is loaded, it will not bend, and that's because the extractor is on the shell and it just holds its place. But also right here we just lock in our charging handle, and it gives some retention, but it doesn't lock it, so I can just open it up if I need to. Very quick, rack around, and we're ready to fire. Also, we have a nice shell deflector that kind of covers the whole port, so that just keeps the rounds going in a good direction and not back in your face. Also, the slide release is right here and also on the other side, but this is a little more difficult to get to when you're pushing it down, but I noticed the more that I use it, the easier it is to get that to go home. But most of the time I'm using my charging handle anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now the FPC is 30.5 inches when it's fully extended. But once you close it up, it goes down to the length of the barrel. So we're at right about 16.25 inches, which makes this great to put into a backpack. Then again, just bring it around, ready to go, and it weighs about 4 pounds, so it's really lightweight. Now the receiver is polymer. It comes down into that M&P style pistol grip. In fact, we even have the back straps that we can change this out to fit whatever hand size. So we have 3 additional options. These are very easy to install. The texturing is that M&P texturing, which is very aggressive, but it really allows for you to hold on to that rifle even in wet conditions and in any environment. The mag release pops out. It doesn't really jettison the magazines, but it does pop out. And then right here is a small tool. Now this is for doing different tasks with the rifle or the carbine, and so this is just a cool thing that Smith & Wesson includes. And it slips right into the hole to the side, and you just bring it in and it locks it. And here's a better look at the polymer magazine. You know, they're so lightweight. But then we have 2 additional magazines that are in the buttstock. So you get 3 total. Right here is your mag release lever. So when you hit one side, it does the opposite. It's almost like a seesaw effect. So you hit it and it comes right out. And then here at the bottom is how we remove the buttstock. And we have a QD point. Now the stock is not adjustable for length of pull. I mean, it is set where it is. But if you take this lever and you just pull it down, it unlocks the stock. You can bring it off. And this is actually a pretty cool feature, is we have a small little tube. This is a little compartment, has a little cap. You can pull it off. You can keep survival items. You can put batteries, a number of different things in here, and then it seals. Now this isn't necessarily waterproof. It might be, but it's definitely weather resistant. And it only goes on one way. Also, in the buttstock is a spring. Now this is not really a recoil spring, but it does help to cushion as you're firing. But again, 22, it's really minimal. Now to reinstall, put your spring in first, and then the narrower end of your little tube, you can put it in. And you want to make sure though that this little area is in the down position. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the tube first, and it just kind of locks in. And that just holds it into place. And then we can bring our stock over, get it started, and then I like to pull down on the stock release and then just move it forward. And I like to take it and just wrap it into place. And now it's locked in. One of the things about this stock too is that it gives you a nice cheek weld, and that way when you have your optics you can just get right to it, and it's a very comfortable area to be able to put it. There is a little bit of texturing on here, and again you do have a QD point here at the back. And here's another view of the charging handle. And also with the magazine inserted, it does have last round bolt hold open. We have a 16¼ inch barrel, and of course it is threaded, so you can put whatever suppressor or muzzle device you want to put on here. And we have a Picatinny rail that goes all the way the length of the M-LOK handguard, and it's not come with backup sights. I'm using one of the C&H enclosed optics. You have M-LOK at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. Now you have other areas that are open, but they are not specifically M-LOK. They're just a little bit more narrow. Now I ended up attaching the QD point for my sling here at the bottom of the rail, and one of the reasons is I first attached it to the side, and I found it wouldn't let me fully fold the rifle. It was interfering just a little bit. So putting it on the bottom is where you want to put it, or on the other side. But that's just to note, these other rail systems again are not M-LOK. The M-LOK is polymer, but it does really well at biting in with your different M-LOK accessories. Also right at the end there is a small little nub for a hand stop. But you can put vertical forearms or angled forearms on here if you want. But to me, that just adds a lot of bulk. And with that rail, you have a lot of options. Here we have one of the Enforce arcs. It's one of the 650s. It's a 1400 lumen light, 600 meters of throw, which you go way beyond 22. But you have that 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. And then here at the bottom, we have a small little QD port. And this is for a sling, which goes to the buttstock. So with the 1/2x28 threads, it'll take most of your suppressors, and here we have a little Banish 22. Man, this thing makes it super quiet. I like how small it is. It just fits on the end of this rifle, which even when folded, this is not a big extension. But of course, with that 1/2x28 threads. And this is one of the things that makes the 22 so appealing, because it can be so quiet. Now there is a crossbolt safety. And it's very intuitive. It's just take your finger out of the trigger guard and hit it, and then of course from the other side you can do fire. So very easy to get to. And it has a lot of texturing, really similar to the M&P grip. Now one thing I thought was really interesting is this looks like the German MG42 that was used during World War II. And it has that same kind of look to it even here at the end. But also they were modified during Star Wars to be used for their heavy blasters. So it gives it kind of a really cool, unique look. Now with the trigger is more of your flat face style. It is polymer and it does have this trigger safety, and the trigger safety has to be engaged with a full pat of your finger to disengage. Here we have some take up to about right here. Not bad take up. Little resistance, and then we have a brake. It's not a super crisp brake, but it's a definite tactile brake. Reset right there. Let's check our trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 4 pounds, 5.1 ounces. 4 pounds, 11.1 ounces. Around the 4.5 pounds. Big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammunition. All made right here in the USA. Biggest supplier of ammunition in the country. And I really like these magazines because it has this little thumb rest. You can pull it down, which is on a lot of 22s, but it just makes it much easier to load. And I love that we got 3 mags. Right guys, we have the FPC carbine from Smith & Wesson. Been around for a little while, but not in 22. And this is just a excellent folding carbine. I mean, it just comes together in a extremely small package. Weighs about 4 pounds. And you can just bring it around and you're ready to go. What I love is 20 round magazines. It goes from the grip. Magazines are easy to load, but then you have your magazines back here in the back. And we'll take a look at that. I like that it has that M&P grip to it. And you have your grip panels. You can change this out. Picatinny rail on top, and then you have M-LOK around the sides. Of course, it doesn't come with any sights, so you got to throw an optic on there. We have one of the C&H optics, enclosed emitter. But a really handy, lightweight option. Again, it's just tiny. And this fits into a backpack really well. So far, we've had a great reliability. We did have a couple of light primer strikes. They weren't actually light. We checked the rim and it gave us solid, so it could have been the ammunition. But we're using a couple of different types. Here we go. And back here is the charging handle, which is pretty cool as well. Then you have your crossbolt safety right here, which is very intuitive. Easy, no recoil whatsoever. Magazine release right there where it's on your regular handgun grip. Then if you want to switch this out and you want to go to your magazines, you've got them right here handy. So you're carrying 60 rounds of ammunition in this small package. And again, great for survival. Great for a bug out gun, boat gun, truck gun. Just really works well. And of course, you know, you had the Sub 2000, which was great, but it did a crossover over the top. You couldn't keep an optic on it. Here, we've got our optic. We can just bend this around and it doesn't lose point of aim. You're right on target. I mean, this thing is just sweet to shoot. No recoil whatsoever. Now here we have one of the Banish 22s. This is for a 22 suppressor. It goes on those 1/2x28 threads really fast. And again, it's just no recoil, but now no sound. I love the sound of silence. But it's really cool to have this magazine caddy that's in the back. And again, they've got that storage compartment in here if you want to put some survival items. So very handy, lightweight, foldable, 22 so versatile. Just a great little option for a bug out bag. Guys, we just put this little C&H optic on this FPC and we need to sight it in. We haven't sighted it in yet. And we can walk it in, or what we like to use is Tactical Elites, and this is the Sightright 2.0. This is a green laser bore sighter and it makes it really fast to get on target. Now there are a number of different collets all the way from 17 H&R to 50 caliber. And so we have the 22 for this, and so we just screw in the correct collet. Once you get it to the right desired fit, you want to put it in the bore and it needs to be snug. Next we turn on the green laser. Then I line up the red dot and match it to the green laser. Now once I get this lined up, I'm going to remove my green laser. I'm going to take it off with the Sightright 2.0, and then I'm just going to fire 3 to 5 rounds at about 25 yards to make sure that I'm on zero. So guys, Sight Right 2.0 from Tactical Elites. This will save you time and money when you're at the range. So you can go to tacticalelites.com, check out more information. Now, as far as disassembly, we're going to go ahead and drop our magazine. We're going to check the chamber. The gun is empty. First thing you want to do is come back here to the buttstock. And just like we removed it, just pull down and it'll pull off. Now we'll take a small bench block. I'm just going to place it here because we're going to push this pin out. And so go ahead and just take and push it all the way through. It comes out. Now take your charging handle, pull it, and then just pull it up. And it just comes right off. And then I'm just going to push through the bolt and get it started toward the back. And then we just lift it up and it comes right out. We have a really nice bolt system. This is stainless steel. It's very well done. We have 2 recoil springs, and again, you have that spring in the back of your stock. We have a buffer assembly right here. This is where the pin goes through. So once you reinstall this, you're going to want to know this pin has to go through this little hole. Now when you want to clean your barrel, just hit and fold the rifle, and then that just reveals your chambers. You can run a bore snake or a cleaning rod right through here, so it makes it really easy. And no other disassembly is required. Now for reassembly, take your bolt, go ahead and slide it in, and it needs to go all the way to the end. We're going to take our charging handle, put it on, and that'll help get that forward, and so now it reveals that hole. Now we want to put our pin back in, but you're going to want to make sure that it goes in completely on the other side. So you have to fish it just a little bit because it doesn't go in straight. And so you can see that the spring is cantering this just a little bit. So I just take a punch and just get it back into place while I'm pushing on the other side until I get it lined up with the hole. There we go. And this is a good time to go ahead and check and bring your charging handle back. Now we're going to return our buttstock and we're going to take our tube, go ahead and put the compartment into it. I'm going to pull up on my stock release, and then I'm going to put it against my chest and snap it into place just like that. And now it's locked in. Test for function, and we're back in business. Now keeping your firearms maintained and cleaned is vital. Otis makes some of the best cleaning equipment out there. They make a number of different kits that are dedicated for different rifles, pistols. They also have Shooter's Choice, which makes excellent CLP and bore solvent and different cleaning materials. The Ripcord is one of their signatures, and there's a whole system based around it. They are suppliers to the U.S. military. So check out Otis Technologies, highly recommended, and we want to thank Otis for being a sponsor of the channel. Retail price, $549. Market price is typically less. Your magazines are 26 bucks. So all right, pros and cons. First off, it is a super lightweight rifle. It's very compact, easy to stow away. That foldable action just makes this so small. M-lock rails, great. Threaded barrel, especially for 22, it makes it so quiet. 20 round mag capacity, and then you have 3 magazines with you on the rifle. Love the stock setup. Tube compartment in the back, and I like the cheek riser. Has the M&P style grip, and you can change these back straps out. Very versatile, very easy to pack. Now, 22 long rifle, that's also a huge plus, especially for a survival rifle, because it's so versatile. Now, guys, obviously, you can jump up to the 9mm, and it's a great round as well, and of course, it's in this same configuration, or 10mm. But for 22, it's a little quieter, it's less recoil, anyone can shoot it. It's cheaper to shoot. You can carry a heck of a lot more ammunition, and you can use it for hunting, for plinking, for training. You can use it for self-defense. Self-defense is one con because it's not really optimal for self-defense, but it is capable. Another con would be that it is all polymer. So while what makes it so lightweight and appealing also is a little bit vulnerable. I mean, this can break if it was really hit hard or you fell on it against a rock or something. But again, that's a trade-off. Reliability was excellent, accuracy excellent. It's got a kind of a different design to it, but very functional. And again, it looks a lot like the MG42, which is just a legendary firearm, but obviously an 8mm. Price, I mean, we're getting up to $5.5. I mean, this should come in maybe at $475, $499, something like that. So it's a little bit more expensive than a lot of your other options for this. But to me, as far as the way this thing breaks down and you can shoot it very quickly, it just makes a great option. Is it the ultimate survival rifle? There's a lot of great choices out there. It's for you to decide, but this is really an excellent gun to be able to carry in a backpack. And that's one thing too. It slips into a backpack. Again, being so lightweight, that makes it a big plus. So overall, this is an excellent choice. Are there better choices out there? It's according to your preference. Guys, there are a lot of .22 survival rifle options out there, and a lot of them are excellent. Of course, I have a number of them, but this has a very unique feature with it being able just to be folded and then deployed very quickly. And then with the magazines in the back, I mean, it gives you 60 rounds of .22 at your fingertips, and yet a super lightweight option coming in at about 4 pounds. And of course, a lot of things with suppressors and sights, different things that you can use it. And then you have your optic that doesn't need to be removed. It's right there when you need it. It's sighted in, ready to go. So kudos to Smith & Wesson, especially coming out with the .22. And this really gives us a great survival option. And again, .22 is so versatile, and it's one that you really need in your survival arsenal. And again, a big thank you to Smith & Wesson for sending the FPC and .22 for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Right here's a little latch, take it, fold it up. Okay, I didn't do that right. And then we're gonna push it through to the other side. I don't know if I saw that or not. And lock it into place. It was really the only firearm that would do this, would it? Let's test for function. Test for function. Okay. It's this really cool, it's just super cool. I don't know what else to say except it's super cool. The ease of manipulation, great. Okay, I've already said all that. Yeah. You know, when I say FPC, I think of KFC because it's about lunchtime.